Millionaires don't always use their wealth as most of us would do, as having a lot of money makes you think that you can literally own everything and everybody, and spending a few $1,000s in bizarre stuff isn't really going to affect their bank accounts. NBA players are one of the richest athletes ever, with their huge contracts and the sponsorship deals they get, so naturally they have a buck or two that they could spare and waste in unorthodox purchases. In 2015, while with the New Orleans Pelicans, Anthony Davis signed a whopping 5-year, $127 million contract extension with the team. Fast forward to 2020, Davis signed another 5-year deal, this time worth $190 million with the Los Angeles Lakers. In addition to that, prior to the 2017-2018 season, Davis signed a multi-year extension with Nike, giving his off-court earnings a boost as well. Oddly enough, Davis signed an endorsement deal with Ruffles in 2019 and serves as a creative partner in developing new products with the 72-year-old brand. With that kind of money, you can buy some pretty outrageous stuff, which he has done. In this video, we will be taking a look at some of the most stupidly expensive things that Anthony Davis has purchased. We wanted to remind you that we are giving you a chance to win a PS5 and a copy of NBA 2K21 as well. All you need to do to enter the giveaway is subscribe to the channel, like this video, and leave a comment in the comment section below. Before we jump into the most stupidly expensive things that Anthony Davis owns, let's take a look at some of his predecessors and their outlandish purchases as a bit of a history lesson, shall we? While buying a yacht isn't an odd thing to do per se, it became one of Latrell Sprewell's most regrettable purchases after the forward's decision to retire from the league because the multi-million-dollar deal he got wasn't enough to feed his family. Eventually, the yacht was auctioned and he lost a lot of money after spending $1.5 million on the boat, while one of his houses was foreclosed on as well. Not surprising, as he also once choked out a former head coach. Once again, having a shoe collection isn't something that you may consider weird, and we would all love to have hundreds of different sneakers. Even so, Jarrett Jack's collection seems a bit too much, as the point guard reportedly owns over 1,500 different pairs of sneakers. That's about 2,000 cubic feet of closet space dedicated solely for his kicks. While taking your boys for a night out in the bar isn't something odd, especially considering you just ended a 40-year championship drought, the fact that David Lee took his Golden State Warrior teammates to Las Vegas for a couple of days to celebrate their NBA title is a little bit strange, as he had just been traded to the Boston Celtics. While Mike Tyson has his tigers and some NFL players brag about their alligators, Carmelo Anthony went the whole way and bought himself a camel in 2011. I don't know if he rides it or if he just has it for the mere fact that he has enough money to take care of him, but still, considering how much they poop, I highly doubt he does much of the grooming. Deshaun Stevenson tweeted a photo of an ATM installed in his living room, and when asked about it, he said that he liked doing things that aren't normal and it's cool to have an ATM. So yeah, at least he was pretty honest about it. Moreover, reports state that he actually refilled it a couple of times with over $20,000. Former journeyman Marquise Daniels isn't really known because of his basketball expertise, but because of the eccentric chain he showed off in 2010 of his own head. Buying jewelry isn't something odd to do, but when you make a 14-karat gold and cognac diamond replica of your head, you're definitely going to stand out from the pack. Gilbert Arenas' prime was brief and kind of an emotional roller coaster, but he always made sure to get as much attention as he could. The controversial point guard once bought a $3.5 million mansion, adding a shark tank that cost him over $6,500 a month until he finally decided to sell the house in 2012. Eddie Curry has to be one of the worst people on earth when it comes to managing and saving money. This guy spent over $1,000 monthly in cable, paid over $6,000 a month to his private chef, and over $17,000 for his family and friends, let alone the fact that he once took almost $600,000 in a loan in a Vegas casino at 85% interest. Once again, buying a jet isn't the craziest thing to do if you're a millionaire, but what Scottie Pippen did when buying a $4 million airplane that didn't work, well, that's just a terrible decision to say the least. Pippen had to pay an extra $1 million to try and repair the plane, but it was never able to leave the ground. While Shaquille O'Neal is known around the league for being one of the best investors in basketball, he has spent quite a buck or two in Superman paraphernalia and apparel, and apparently spending over $40,000 just to put the logo in the grille of one of his SUVs, and over $15,000 on a Superman-themed bed. Danny Granger actually built his very own Batcave, When asked about it, he said, "Actually, the builder called me and told me he found a nice little feature, a lift for my car, kind of like Batman had. It's in the works. It's a process. The superhero stuff is just a big thing I've been a part of. I love Superman, love Batman. It's just the way I've been always." Is buying a bed weird? I mean, who doesn't need a bed? Well, even so, Al Jefferson took it a bit too far when buying his, as he spent about $23,000 on a 12-foot by 10-foot bed. We get it, NBA players, you're bigger than most of us, and some beds aren't going to be good enough for you. But that is just crazy. So now that we have something to look back on, let's see how Anthony Davis spends his money. According to Realtor.com, the Lakers star purchased the Bel Air mansion for around $32 million in May. The 17,000 square foot home sits on 3.5 acres of land and has 8 bedrooms and 9.5 baths. The home is also said to have a full-size basketball court, a tennis court, and a 120-foot pool. Prior to purchasing that home, Davis bought a mansion in Westlake Village, Los Angeles for $6.6 million in 2018. Davis is also big into watches. He owns a Rainbow Cosmograph Daytona, which is priced at a stunning $96,900. It features 36 baguette cut sapphires around the bezel, 11 more as an hour marker, while 56 brilliant cut diamonds cover its lugs for all of you watch aficionados out there. Post Malone and Antoine Griezmann have been spotted wearing the watch as well. Now that we know what he has bought, we thought it would be fun to suggest some things he could potentially do with his career earnings. Pablo Picasso's Version I sold for $179.4 million in 2015, making it the second most expensive painting to ever sell an auction behind Leonardo da Vinci's Salvator Mundi. That's almost all of Davis's $190 million, so we would encourage him to go for something a little more affordable, maybe an $80 million Van Gogh. Who hasn't dreamed of owning their own island? Cave Cay is a 222-acre island in the Exumas chain in the Bahamas that has a protected deep water harbor and marina with 35 dock slips and a 2,800-foot airstrip. Perfect for private jets and yachts. The cost? $60 million. Davis is also the spokesperson for Ruffles potato chips and even has his own signature flavor, lime and jalapeno. We're sure he has a lifetime supply, but if he wanted to spread that Ruffles love to the Big Blue Nation, it would cost $11.25 million to buy a 9-ounce bag for every Kentuckian. We're including the Louisville fans because, well, why not? Davis also owns or owned a pet monkey. Davis told Jimmy Kimmel how he wound up with a monkey and about how he only had the monkey for a year and a half. Davis said, "My teammate came to the locker room one day with a monkey on his shoulder. Well, I wasn't sure it was a monkey, it was something crawling. I'm like, I think we need an exterminator around here in the facility." So he's like, "Yeah, this is my monkey." That kind of freaked me out at first, like, what are you doing with a monkey? And he had it on like a harness, a leash, it could do tricks. He was like, it can play peekaboo. It was playing peekaboo, and I was like, man, that's so dope, I want one. So he ended up getting me one, and I found out my monkey did none of that. I had it for about a year and a half, and I was like, this is not for me. I gave it back to him. Davis then explained that his teammate wasn't able to care for the monkeys either, so now the 2 monkeys are with a teammate's auntie. What would you buy with this kind of money? Or the question is, what wouldn't you buy with this kind of money? We want to know, so tell us in the comment section below. Thank you so much for watching, and make sure to hit the notification bell so you don't miss out on future videos.